All right, welcome to another edition of 10 Minutes With. Today, our partner is coming to us out of the Baltimore, Maryland area. Please welcome the host of Electrified with Eric Lyons, Eric Lyons.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy to be here. Happy to
And
be here.
coming to us from your recording studio.
Yes, yes,
So
yes, sir.
let's jump right in. Why did you start a podcast?
Okay, so long story. All right. So first of all, the Electrified name, the brand, everything that started 5 years ago when I was in high school. I was a senior in high school, and our county where I stay in Baltimore County, we have we have Comcast, and and they have a local television network for the county. And Baltimore County schools, they put together a TV show, and my school put together one, and my show was a part of the show. So it was like a mini segment, 5 to 10 minute segment. It was monthly. So I did a sports show that was like syndicated in the circuit. So that's where it's really started. But I've been doing media since I was in elementary school. So as far as the pod goes, this was like 2018 when I started. But I was a freshman in college, and I was working with Frostburg's media team. So I was doing commentary, my sophomore and freshman year. Junior year, they brought in some outside hires and like pushed off our commentary team and pushed us to like the side. We were doing like camera work. I'm like, that's not what I got hired to do. I felt like they took my voice from me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go start a podcast because I need my voice back. And I quit my job, and I've been going up ever since.
There you go. It's weird when things like that happen. You just come in and they're like, you know what? Thanks for what you've done, but we're gonna move you behind the camera. That's a weird thing to do.
Yes. It was a hard transition for me because I've done all aspects. I've done editing, directing, anything you can think of as far as like a broadcast goes. But I'm more of a in front of the camera, on air type of personality. I'm a personality. That's what I feel like I was put here to do. Like I don't mind being behind the scenes to a certain extent, but that's not my role. So yeah, it was a hard transition for me.
So what should a listener expect from your podcast?
I would say a lot of jokes, but given the climate we're in right now, it's been more, serious, but I can make a lot of anything. But I think with like the worldly issues and things tied into sports right now, it's been more serious dialogue. And I think that's cool. It's good quality, good content because people need to see me in a different light. They need to see that I can be serious and, be playful when it's time. So, but on a normal episode, the news, what's going on, and sports reviews. I talk anything from uniforms to games, what's going on in the news. It's a pretty laid back show.
And it's from my standpoint, I have a ton of respect for someone who can sit there by themselves and talk for 45 minutes and be engaging and entertaining. I mean, as Kate will tell you, I could talk for 45 minutes, but the audience would lose me after about 30 seconds. So it's a real skill. How do you thanks, Kate. So how do you prep for that, knowing that you're talking to yourself?
Right. In a sense, yeah. I just, I'm a talker. I really like to talk. It's been me from I was a little kid, and I've had a lot of conversations and a lot of back and forth with people about anything, but sports has always been the main thing. Like if we're talking sports, we can go for 2 hours. I won't miss a beat, and that's how I think about it. Like I think when I prep, I prep my topics, and I go in and I make my notes. But when I'm recording and I'm talking, to me, I'm like talking directly to the audience, and I know when I'm talking to somebody, I have a lot of enthusiasm. I have a lot of character, so I don't want to lose, who I'm talking to one-on-one. So I can't see these people, but they can hear me, and I want them to feel me. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like I think of it as a conversation with the listeners.
It's definitely a skill. That's absolutely for sure. I tried once to do a by myself segment, and I get done. I'm like, oh, that was probably a good 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that was 4 minutes.
And it's about pacing. And it's definitely about pacing. You don't want to talk too fast. Don't want to talk too slow because like when I first started, my shows were like 20, 25 minutes and I was running through segments. And, now averaging about an hour a show because I'm taking my time. I'm more comfortable with myself, one, and then, you know, just being alone because I've never had a co-host. You know, I've had people like on the show, but like sending the voice messages. But as far as a back and forth between, it's just always been me through almost 100 episodes now. So
that's very impressive. So let's move on to, what piece of advice would you give to somebody starting a podcast that you've learned along the way?
As far as like, you know, getting started is probably the hardest part because, you know, it's equipment, software, and, you know, finding your target audience. You know, you have to know who you're talking to, because if you go out there blind and you just try to cover, you know, all the bases, you won't get anywhere. You know, I know most of my listeners are young, you know, young listeners. So I try to, you know, I stay in the know because I'm a young guy. I'm only 21. I turned 22 in August. So like, I know who I'm talking to. But as far as starting off, you know, it's just like, man, when I started recording, I had a $10 microphone from Amazon, and I was in the closet of my dorm room. So it doesn't get any more started from the bottom than this. So like, you know, I think, you know, going from there, recording directly off of Anchor to now, you know, having all the software and a better mic, it's just, you know, you have to know what you want to do and, you know, what you want to buy, because you can't just go into a blind. So with that being said, ask for help. If you know people who are like into this, ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. That's, you know, was one of my problems. I felt like, you know, not prideful, but it's just like, I felt like I should have known certain things, but I didn't. So I didn't have a problem asking for help. That's one thing. And just stay consistent. When you get started, make sure you drop. You know, if you're a weekly show, drop weekly. If you're a monthly show, drop monthly. You don't want to lose your own rhythm, because when you lose your rhythm, that's when you start to lose, you know, the audience that you start to build up.
Good
So
advice.
DJ, old.
You know what? This is like 3 out of the last 4 episodes. Our guests have been, you know, a bit younger than I am. I mean, I just turned 35 a couple weeks ago, and then I'm like, oh, I'm 22, I'm 23, I'm 21. I'm like, really? I mean, in my day job, one of our field guys that we had just hired, he had just turned 19, and I'm like, I'm doing the math. I'm like, I was like almost done with high school when you were born. Just like, oh no.
You're 42.
What?
Aren't you 42?
I'm not 42. Stop that. Yeah, for you know, now I have to tell this every time, but her boyfriend, she told her boyfriend before she met me, or he met me for the first time, that I was in my 40s. Her boyfriend's 3 months older than I am. I'm just like,
oh man,
I'm not 40.
Mess with people.
So, Eric, thank you for being on the show. Can you where can we find the show, and where can we find you on social media?
As far as the show goes, you know, any major streaming, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, iTunes Radio, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. I guess this is like breaking right now, but when football season starts, when we get sports back, I'll be coming back to YouTube with a completely, not a different show, but like a side show to what I have for visual, you know, because some people like visual more than they like listening. And I feel the same way. But it'll be a shorter show, probably like 5 to 10 minutes, because I know nobody wants to sit there for an hour and look at me. So I'll keep it short and sweet for that. But so the YouTube is Electrified Vision, you know, when I get that back up. But you can follow the podcast account on Instagram and Twitter at Electrified Pod. You can follow me on social media on at Eric Lyons TV.
Awesome. Thanks again for being on the show. I mean, said before, this is a long time overdue. I'm glad we were finally able to get a chance to sit down.
Definitely. Thank you guys for having me.
Sure. So for everybody else, thanks for watching again. We're on a streak. I think by the time this airs, this is going to be our like 12th or 13th show in a row. Like we stopped. We're doing show. Yeah, we stopped doing shows after like 32 or so, and now we've done like 13 in a row or 15. I can't remember the number, but it's like consistency.
Yes.
Like you said.
Yes.
So again, thanks for watching. Give us a follow at Stadium Scene on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Stadium_Scene on Instagram. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's a new one. I'm not mentioning TikTok because Kate wants me to mention TikTok.
That we don't.
And be sure to check out Eric and other great shows at stadiumscene.tv. We'll see you next time. Bye.